Sagittarius, how warm it is to meet you again. The flame that never sleeps in the long night of the cosmos. You are not just a traveler. You are a wandering spark among the stars, unable to be contained in any jar of definition, because your soul belongs to the wide sky itself. Today's reading, just like you, will not follow a set path. It will not be boxed in, because the energy you carry is the energy of a soul too familiar with waiting for something sacred to happen. And now, you are the one awakening that sacred thing. I lit a candle before opening the cards, a small but sacred ritual, and through the thin veil of smoke, I heard the voice of an unseen teacher, deep and steady. It has gone far enough. It's time to return to its arrow. And just like that, the dance of destiny began. The first card appeared, the star, not merely a symbol of hope. For Sagittarius, this card feels like a night map, a place where the fire within you finally finds the water to be cleansed. You no longer need to fight. You just need to be present, with open arms and a heart that has learned humility through every free fall where no one caught you. You may not know this, but every journey you've walked, every wound that seemed random, has led you to this moment, a moment where your intuition is as clear as dawn, where freedom no longer means escape, but becomes a deep commitment to your truest self. I've always believed, souls like Sagittarius are not born to be held back. They are born to unlock doors others fear to touch. And today, as the light of the stars shines into the stillness of your chart, I feel it deeply. You no longer need a blessing, because you have become the very blessing you once waited for. Like when you chose to forgive without an apology. Like when you kept your dignity even after rejection. Sometimes, courage isn't in how far you shoot your arrow, but in stopping, facing the voice within, and asking, where does this arrow truly want to go? And that is the profound lesson Sagittarius is receiving now. Not every journey needs to continue. Some roads need you to turn back, to forgive, to understand, or simply to choose yourself again. From now on, when you feel lost, remember this. You are not lost, you are being called home. Home to your boundless nature, home to the laughter you dropped between responsibilities, home to the one whose light once frightened others, but who will be found again. Sagittarius, you've let go of so much that never belonged to you. Projected guilt, exhausting roles, promises your soul never agreed to. You're no longer pretending for the world. And then, you realize you don't have to hold it all together anymore. You've returned to your blazing center, where true light doesn't need to be proven, only lived. And here, in this rebirth terrain without a map, I want you to write for me, as a sign to the universe. I accept what I deserve. My path is clear. Because that affirmation doesn't just open doors to what's coming, it is also a dignified farewell to everything you've bravely released. The Empress appears, and like a whisper from the Earth Mother, your inner beauty begins to bloom outward. But this time, you're not changing your image to fit the times. Your soul no longer agrees to be disguised as something it's not. A figure enters, quiet yet grounded, the Knight of Pentacles. He doesn't bring miracles. He brings something rarer, stability that comes from within you. Not random luck, but the fruit of every sincere choice you've made along the way. I hear his voice whisper, she will win, but she will never trade her peace to do so. In Sagittarius, what touches me most in this reading is, you are no longer chasing grandeur. You are searching for something deeper, fulfillment, where your heart doesn't have to choose between ideals and love. The Seven of Cups appears, goblets unfolding beneath a hazy sky. So many options, too many paths. You may want to try everything, do everything, go everywhere. But this message is clear. Choose with your heart, not your fear. Choose with faith, not worry. And if you can do that, you'll understand why the Eight of Pentacles has been waiting. You're learning to place your energy where it truly belongs. Your focus is no longer scattered. And that sacred clarity is why you've become as captivating as fire burning away all that is false. But pause for a moment, because the High Priestess has arrived. She guards the secrets that only those who are still enough can hear. She tells me this. You are feeling more than you can explain. The dreams you've been having lately, they are not random. They are a calling from someone who is dreaming of you. You may not realize it, but a pair of eyes is searching for you through the night. A name is being spoken in silence. that person appears in the form of the King of Cups. It doesn't matter who they are. An old love, a soul twin. What matters is they want to see you shine. The Six of Pentacles confirms this. You are not alone, and everything you once gave will return to you, not a piece missing. The Fool steps in. With the rebellious spirit of someone ready to leap into the new, so are you. But the Four of Pentacles comes too, as a soft whisper. Wait, prepare fully. Not just with money, but with energy, with belief, with recovery, with the deep knowing that you are worthy of what you are about to choose. In your environment, a figure appears, nameless for now. They are observing you, quietly, and perhaps even they are not ready to speak, but they are waiting for you to step across a threshold, to receive a gift that has yet to be unwrapped. The lesson I want to share with you, Sagittarius, is this. True freedom is not in your ability to leave, but in knowing why you go. And true wealth is not in someone else's hands, but in yours, when you choose to live in alignment with who you truly are. If this is resonating within you, leave behind a commitment. I am ready to live as the true light I am. The universe will hear you, and the rest will begin to change. Sagittarius. Two wands appear again, but this time they're not about making a choice. They're showing you someone is watching you from afar. A quiet gaze, filled with doubt, filled with longing. The Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Wands appear one by one, as if telling the silent story of a soul carrying a heavy weight. She misses you, but she knows she cannot come closer. She has tried, but within her, pride has not yet lowered. Wounds have not yet healed. Fears of rejection still linger. And you, Sagittarius, you can feel it. Because the High Priestess has already shown you. Not everyone who sees your light can hold it. Not because they are unkind, but because true light requires maturity to be honored. You do not blame them. Only a deep understanding remains, like a wise soul who has walked through the dark. In another corner of the reading, the Queen of Wands emerges. You know her well, someone from the past. Perhaps you. Perhaps a loved one. Perhaps a soul who once walked beside you. She once burned bright, but lost herself in her own fire. You helped her so much. But deep down, you've always known. You cannot carry another through a journey that was never meant to be walked for them. The Eight of Cups makes it clear. It's time to let her go. And more importantly, to release her without guilt. Everyone has their own path to walk, and you cannot carry someone on your back if you wish to fly. And as you learn to let go, you are healing. The Page of Pentacles and the Four of Swords reveal this. You are gathering energy, not by doing more, but by doing at the right moment. You are holding silence, not out of fear, but because you are offering your full sincerity to the steps that are ahead. And then a white swan appears from the realm of the prophet, a message of grace. Even in the storm, Sagittarius, do not lose your dignity. Because someone is watching, not with ordinary eyes, but with a spiritual gaze. The bat has triumphed within you. The symbol of darkness, of seeing through the void. It whispers to you, look beyond the surface. Don't let yourself be confused by sweet but hollow words. Trust your intuition. It has never deceived you. Only you have sometimes gone quiet in its presence. A messenger of Katarina whispers to me, good fortune is coming. Not the instant kind, but the kind meant for a soul that is no longer afraid. You, Sagittarius, you are no longer afraid. 3 numbers have been activated for you in this reading. 2, 5, 7. Symbols of choice, freedom, and spiritual connection. A few powerful letters have also appeared. K, M, F, P, A, G, S. They will soon show up in someone's name, a location, or a sacred symbol. Among the zodiac signs surrounding your energy, I feel the strongest pull from Taurus, Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo, and Aquarius. Some will bring lessons. Some will bring blessings. And then, just as I was about to gather the cards, something happened. The Ten of Pentacles fell out on its own. I didn't choose it. It chose you. And when that happens, it's no longer interpretation. It's confirmation. You, Sagittarius, have done the inner work too deeply for the light not to return. Everything you endured, every time you chose not to react, every moment you stayed silent to preserve your dignity, now it will return to you tenfold. And right beside it, as if whispered by fate itself, appears the Two of Wands. But this time, it's no longer a distant gaze. Now, you are the one standing tall, map in hand, eyes on the horizon, with a courageous heart. You are about to make a decision that will shift the course of your entire story. The personal lesson I draw from this reading is this: no one can hold your light unless they've learned how to stand in it without fear of being burned. And you don't suffer because someone didn't choose you. You have chosen peace for yourself. If you feel this is calling your name, write it down. I do not choose circumstances, I choose my sacred self. And then watch where the universe takes you next. Sagittarius, sometimes a journey doesn't begin with a step, but with a whisper. I am ready for myself. You may be heading toward a distant city, an unexpected invitation, or even a commitment you once didn't dare to dream of. But the beautiful part is, this time, you have the strength to say yes, not for anyone else, but because you've chosen yourself. Just when I thought the reading had reached its end, the universe whispered, there's one more thing, a truth that cannot be spoken, unless you are truly ready to face it. With all reverence, as one entering a sunlit temple, I drew the final card. The sun. Not just happiness, not just joy. This is redemption. The return of your inner child. When the life force within you is restored, that child will smile again. Because at last, it has been heard. No longer forced to be strong just to be loved. No longer holding itself together just to be seen. The sun signals this. The coming days will open a powerful spiritual and personal season. You will look in the mirror and no longer recognize yourself. Not because you've changed, but because you are finally seeing yourself through the eyes of your soul. And then, something else will unfold. Someone close to you, a loved one, a partner, or a child, will undergo a profound transformation. This healing is no longer yours alone. It spreads like waves of light. And when that happens, your entire bloodline, your whole ancestral line, will be lifted. I can also feel a sacred presence that has been with you all this time. Not just a spiritual guide, but someone who left the earthly realm long ago. It could be a grandfather, a grandmother, a teacher, a childhood friend who once held your light. I hear his voice clearly. I never gave up. I never betrayed my heart, and you haven't either. Now is the time to harvest, not because you fought for it, but because you never abandoned your true nature, even when no one saw it. The North Node has appeared, a symbol of destiny sealed into your chart. Everything you've lived through, even the moments that felt unfair, did not come to hurt you. They came to bring you closer to the truest version of yourself. And now, you have returned, and the universe grants you permission to be happy. No reason needed, no conditions required. Simply because you are ready to reclaim yourself. You'll sleep deeper, breathe easier, smile in the middle of a rainy day for no reason at all. You'll begin to feel, I am truly alive. If you felt stuck, held back, suspended, then know this: that cycle has ended. Every card confirms it. From this moment on, every step you take will bring you closer to the dream your soul has always held. You will see the signs clearly. A message you didn't expect, an invitation, a door opening at exactly the right time. On the physical level, money, career, opportunities, they will come like flowers blooming after the storm. On the emotional level, peace, not the silence of suppression, but the stillness that lifts you. On the spiritual level, repeating numbers, lucid dreams, synchronizations that feel like a divine yes. And now I want to ask you, if you're still here, if you're still listening, are you ready to step through this door? If your answer is yes, write this in the comments. I receive the sunlight meant for my soul alone. And then, watch how life begins to glow the moment you stop running from yourself. Sagittarius, sometimes the universe doesn't send signs with words, but through seemingly ordinary encounters, all guided by an invisible hand. A strange gaze in a crowded place, a white swan you don't usually see. A butterfly landing on your door the moment you think of someone, or a lone bird flying past as you whisper a wish you've never spoken aloud. Pay attention, everything is whispering to you. The universe is speaking, not with words, but with presence. At this point in your life, you are being called to trust, not in the future, but in yourself. Don't ask if you're worthy of what's coming. You are worthy, because you are still soft, even after being hurt. Because you still love, even after being let down. Because you still believe, even when the world tried to convince you otherwise. And if there is anything you are meant to do right now, it is to say yes to life. Not to others' demands, not to society's expectations, but a sacred yes rising from within. Because now, the path is clear. No longer a maze, but a map drawn from your own awareness. And what's ahead is so beautiful, it will make you forget every burden you once carried. A new beginning, unlike anything you've known before. The Ace of Wands appears, a divine spark reigniting your inner flame. Not to rebuild from ruins, but to create from a new foundation. A place where history does not repeat itself under different names. Where you no longer wait for crumbs that look like promises. The fire within you is no longer just a desire. It's a direction. A compass. A call to act. You will create differently. You will move differently. And you will begin to feel, with clarity, when something is a true opportunity. And when it's just a distraction in disguise. This is why, every time you are rejected, you are actually being affirmed. Your intuition will no longer be silenced. You will begin to honor yourself with truth, through clear, conscious choices. Every area of your life, career, emotions, home, is shifting. The cards show me the image of a bridge, but not one that crosses a river. This is the bridge between two versions of you. The one who lived just to survive, and the one who now chooses to live fully. Wholeness does not mean perfection. It does not mean everything is solved. It means you will no longer bargain away your peace for anything that drains you. You will no longer stay where your spirit weakens. You will no longer pour your love into places that do not reflect your light back. The moment you release what no longer belongs to you, your energy begins to rise. And now, any person, situation, or opportunity that appears must resonate with the higher frequency you now dwell in. Symbols of the number 3 keep appearing. Triangles, balance, alignment. In the coming days, something may unfold. A surprising collaboration, a new alliance, a project aligned with destiny. The message repeats. What is meant for you does not need to be forced. You once begged for clarity, affection, validation, but now you no longer have to. That doesn't mean you're closing yourself off. It means you are opening from a safe place, a rooted foundation. And then the cards reveal one final thing, a conversation that never happened. But it will be the key, not to reconciliation, but to liberation. To say what once remained silent, to let a part of you exhale for the last time, and never call it back again. If you are ready to walk that bridge, write in the comments, I no longer live to survive, I live to shine. And let me continue telling you what awaits on the other side of that bridge. It might be a conversation with a family member, it might be someone from the past, but most likely, it will be a quiet dialogue with yourself. This time, the words will not carry bitterness, they will flow out soft as wind, but deep as fire. And in that very moment, you will not only free your voice, but unlock a chain of new decisions. Decisions no longer rooted in survival, but in self-respecting love. You are closer than ever to truly choosing yourself. Not as a symbolic gesture to win approval, but as a daily act, eating like someone who honors their body, resting as a form of rebirth, choosing what surrounds you, as if choosing the air you breathe, walking away from what depletes you, without guilt. All of it, though ordinary, is sacred ritual in disguise. You don't need complex spells. You don't need to pass the universe's test. You just need each small action to lead you back to your center. The final image the cards leave you with is crystal clear. You, standing by the window, watching the first sunrise of a chapter no longer written in wounds. And you know, deep within, there is nothing left to fear, because you're not just preparing for a beginning. You've already cleansed the deepest part of your being. And from there, what arrives can only be truth, beauty, and blessing. And to make sure no shadow remains, judgment appears once more. But this time, not as a warning, but as a soul's echo, it is time to return to your whole self. This judgment is deeper than any before. It is not merely a call to act. It is the moment you realize you are no longer the person who began this journey. This is true awakening. Maturity that comes not from gaining more, but from looking back without flinching. You no longer owe anything to your past. You do not need to repeat to learn more. From now on, everything you choose will come from freedom, not from wounding. You will receive a very specific sign. It may be a spoken phrase, a repeated symbol, memory sparked by a sound, a scent. Don't be afraid. It will be a true closing, a graceful ending, not a bitter farewell, but a gentle nod to everything that once was, a blessing for what lived. A thank you to yourself, the one who never gave up, even when no one walked beside you. At the soul level, Judgment awakens ancient memories. You may feel a stranger who feels oddly familiar, a place you've never been, yet it vibrates like home. Dreams so vivid you can't tell if they are memories or imagination. Don't try to make sense of it all. The sacred does not need to be understood, only felt. Your environment is shifting too. The Four of Wands appears like an anchor for celebration. It signals a gathering, not extravagant, but sacred. All it needs is truth. All it needs is for those who truly love you to sit near one another. And just like that, a gateway of light will open. In that gathering, someone will say what you always needed to hear. And you, perhaps unknowingly, will be the first light to lead someone else who is lost. The personal insight I take from this journey, Sagittarius, is this. Awakening is not about seeing something new, but about daring to look at what is old with eyes no longer conditioned by fear. You didn't change to be better in anyone else's eyes. You became yourself, fully, without asking for permission. If you're still reading, I want you to write this down. I am no longer waiting to be chosen. I have chosen myself. And if you wish, I will continue the next part. Doors of career and creativity are opening at the level of soul you've just entered. If you work in art, writing, communication, performance, or any field that allows you to speak your truth, get ready. A prosperous gateway is opening. Not through exhausting effort, but through a burning spark the moment you return to your own element. And even if your current job has nothing to do with creativity, that won't stop the creative life within you from blooming. You'll start to see opportunities appear, seemingly by coincidence. But really, they are the universe's exact response to the new frequency you are now radiating. The energy of someone who no longer pretends. The World card confirms it. You are no longer running from a cycle. You are completing it. With open eyes and a heart that no longer fears pain. For the first time, you're closing something without regret. You didn't lose it, you released it. This time, success isn't only external. It lives in your skin, in your gaze, in the way you breathe. It is wholeness. It is the ability to look in the mirror and quietly think, I don't need anything more to know I'm well. And from that state, from that vibration, your life begins to rearrange itself. Relationships become easier to breathe in. Opportunities arrive like perfect puzzle pieces, without urgency or force. Because this time, you are no longer lowering the volume of your soul to fit into rooms that don't have enough light. If you're thinking about a major shift, a relocation, a personal project, a necessary ending, a relationship being made official, then this is the moment. Don't wait for validation. Don't ask for permission, and don't apologize. Peace is enough, and your peace is a sacred reason. Before this powerful chapter closes, the tarot sends you one last image. You sitting in the light, calm, not needing to run, not needing to explain, just breathing and realizing everything is starting to make sense. And right in that moment, the Ace of Cups appears, overflowing, alive, as if the universe is pouring into you everything, the loves that were once denied, the joys that were once postponed, the tenderness you always deserved, but never fully received. This card is not only about romantic love, though it does hint at a new relationship or the revival of an old connection, but this time built on absolute honesty. Above all, this card speaks to something deeper. You are beginning to fall in love with life again. You tear up because of a breeze. You smile without needing a reason, and you no longer feel guilty for your own emotions. Your heart has been cleansed of resentment and fear. And because of that, everything you feel from here on will be clearer, braver, more innocent. If you are in a relationship, this card signals a rebirth of emotions. A healing conversation is waiting to unfold. If you are single, a loving energy is approaching. Not to complete you, but to walk beside you. Someone will read your soul without translation, will not fear your depth, will not fear your scars. And the most beautiful part is, perhaps, that someone is you. You, learning to treat yourself the way you once wished someone else would. My personal truth is this. When a person learns to love themselves, without haste, without conditions, everything else begins to arrive naturally. Because true love always starts at the frequency we emit. If this resonates with you, write this down. I am the original source of love in my life. And if you want, I'll write the next part for you. The doors of career and social purpose will open as Sagittarius steps into the world with unapologetic light. Even those you once thought would never change, you'll begin to notice the first stirrings. Someone who once pulled away will open up. Someone who lost their way will find the words to draw closer. And even someone you no longer speak to may return. Not to reclaim the past, but to quietly admit you inspired the change in them. The Ace of Cups is radiating through your living space like a fresh breeze. Wherever you live, whether a small room or wide open land, will begin to clear itself of tension. You may feel the urge to move things around, to give away old clothes, to repaint, to refresh the air. Every item you release is an act of faith. Every object you part with is a space being made for something that truly nourishes you. And not just in the physical sense. You'll begin to choose your thoughts, your words, who stays in your life, where your time goes. You'll begin to live as if every small detail is a ritual honoring your own sacred self. The oracle cards offer a clear symbol, the butterfly. Transformation, but no longer painful, no longer forced. It is a dance, soft, gentle, unresisting. One morning, you'll wake up and realize you don't react the way you used to anymore. They say that thing, you don't feel the pain. They do that thing, you don't spiral. They walk away, you no longer cling. And you will understand, you have transformed without abandoning your essence. That is sacred alchemy. Another symbol appears, the hummingbird, messenger of the free soul. It whispers, you don't have to carry the heavy things anymore. You can let go and still fly far. Joy is not a luxury, it is medicine. From now on, you will begin to experience small moments of joy that you can't explain. A scent that makes you smile, a melody that makes you breathe deeper, a memory that once brought tears now lingers only as a gentle thank you. That's the sign your soul is coming home. Physically, you will notice the changes too. Deeper sleep, quicker recovery, brighter eyes, and yes, people will notice. Not because you tried to change, but because, for the first time, you are living for yourself. The final card appears, Three of Wands. Vision, expansion, a new horizon unfolding. This card is a promise. The best is yet to come. Every seed you once planted, even the ones you thought were foolish, are beginning to sprout. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily, consistently, profoundly. And you, Sagittarius, will be more focused than ever before. You'll realize you no longer need to chase, you no longer need to beg. You have become the magnet because you have cleared the path. My personal reflection is this: healing is not always a dramatic breakthrough. Sometimes it's a quiet stillness in the mind. A morning you wake up and simply know you don't need a reason to love life anymore. If any image from this reading has touched your soul, leave a powerful affirmation in the comments below. I accept the light that belongs to me. My path is clear. I move forward with clarity, and I live as an act of love toward myself.